Well, a tire fire that's burned for almost 3 days straight is now out. The immediate threat of danger may be over, but fire officials tell us there's still a lot of work to do. Channel 5's Daisy Martinez is in our Cameron County newsroom to explain what happens next. Daisy?
Fire departments from Cameron, Hidalgo, and Willacy counties all played a role in putting out this fire. There's agreements in place that say these counties and fire departments will help each other out without expecting reimbursement. It's a model they adopted after the 9/11 attacks. Still, with something so big, the fire chief in Brownsville tells us the cost of something like this is eventually trickling down to you, the taxpayer. This is what remains of this homeowner's fence. A grass fire turned tire fire scorched the wooden fence Tuesday. The woman did not want to go on camera, but tells Channel 5 News she'll be counting on her home insurance to pick up the bill for a new fence.
The DPS helicopter gave us about a 300-acre involvement in this fire. That's such a huge fire.
Brownsville Fire Chief Carlos Elizondo tells Channel 5 News the work for them is far from over.
We continue to have equipment that we need to clean, put back in service, and making sure and go through it one by one, making sure there is no loss.
And the bill for fighting the fire, he predicts, will be in the double digits. Right now, he's figuring out how much it costs to fight the fire. He says hours racked up by firefighters will impact the department's budget. The expense ends up getting passed down to the taxpayers.
The city will probably pick up the cost because that's what they're here for, is to provide public safety, and that's what they pay us for. What the cost is right now, I don't have any numbers to give you since we just finished the day.
It happened in an area outside the Brownsville city limits. It's an area that the Brownsville Department is contracted by the Cameron County Emergency Service District to cover. ESD Administrator Graciela Salinas tells us the 10 fire departments in Cameron County get paid about $1,400 for every fire they respond to in their designated districts. Elizondo requested help from half a dozen neighboring fire departments. All of them comply with the mutual aid agreement. These agreements call for fire departments to help each other without having to pay for services.
Yes, there is a cost behind to it, but a lot of the times we do have mutual aid agreements like we saw with this fire where people come out to help. Same thing in return. If there's a big event, they'll call us and we'll go help them out.
Chief Elizondo says the state requires fire departments to commit to helping other departments without asking for reimbursement in exchange for special equipment. Such is the case with Edinburgh. They have a bulldozer truck that helps build fire barriers.
The city hosting that equipment takes the responsibility, either manning it or being able to respond to a mutual aid call like we did yesterday. And so they'll bring it out and service it. But the equipment falls under the state. All we do is we provide the service. So they continue to house it. The state picks up the cost.
Elizondo says volunteer fire departments like Los Fresnos don't get any pay at all. They'll have to apply for state funds or grants if they want to get paid for the work they did to stop this fire. Chief Elizondo tells us that manpower management is crucial when they fight large fires. There is someone on site keeping track of the manpower and the overtime hours. Just another effort to keep track and keep the expenses controlled. Live from the Cameron County newsroom, Daisy Martinez, Channel 5 News at 6.
A couple of more notes to what went into fighting that fire. Besides fighting that fire round the clock, firefighters also had to fight fatigue. Fire Chief Carlos Elizondo says crews on the ground were being rotated about every 25 minutes to ensure that no one worked to the point of exhaustion. Fighting a hot fire, he tells us, with full gear can quickly take a toll. We're told stations were set up for firefighters to cool off as they rotated out.
The gear adds to the internal temperature of the firefighter, especially with 100% exertion, and then you have the heat coming off the actual material that's burning, so you're actually looking at something that's, above 200 or 300 degrees.
There were no injuries. 2 abandoned homes were burned to the ground in that 300-acre fire.